U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan recently traveled to Beijing. His mission was to meet with General Zhang Youxia, a top Chinese defense official. This meeting was significant for several reasons. It was the highest-level interaction between the Biden administration and the Chinese military so far. It also took place during a time of heightened tension between the two superpowers. The meeting was not publicly announced beforehand. This suggests a desire for candid discussions away from the media spotlight. Both sides are trying to manage a complex relationship. The stakes are high, as miscalculation could have global consequences. Sullivan's visit, his first to China in his current role, aimed to stabilize the increasingly fraught U.S.-China relationship. The meeting with Zhang, who holds significant influence within the Chinese military, underscores the gravity of the discussions. The talks focused on the importance of preventing competition from escalating into conflict. Both countries are trying to maintain a balance. They are rivals, but they also need to cooperate on certain issues. Taiwan was a major point of contention during the meeting. China claims the self-governing island as its own territory. The U.S. has committed to supporting Taiwan's defense. This commitment is a source of constant friction between Washington and Beijing. China has been increasingly assertive towards Taiwan. It has conducted military exercises near the island. It has also flown warplanes into Taiwan's air defense zone. These actions are meant to intimidate Taiwan and signal China's resolve. The U.S. has responded by increasing its military presence in the region. It has also sold weapons to Taiwan. These moves are seen by China as provocative. They raise the risk of a miscalculation that could lead to conflict. Sullivan likely reiterated the U.S. policy of strategic ambiguity on Taiwan. This means the U.S. has not explicitly stated how it would respond to a Chinese attack. This ambiguity is meant to deter China from taking any drastic action. The South China Sea was another contentious issue discussed. China claims almost the entire sea as its own. This claim overlaps with the claims of several other countries. The U.S. views China's actions in the region as a threat to freedom of navigation. China has been building artificial islands in the South China Sea. It has also militarized some of these islands. These actions have raised concerns among the U.S. and its allies in the region. They fear that China is trying to control a vital waterway. The U.S. has conducted freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea. This involves sailing warships through the area to challenge China's claims. These operations are a source of tension between the two countries. Sullivan likely urged China to respect international law in the South China Sea. He may have also called for a peaceful resolution to the disputes. China, however, is unlikely to back down from its claims. Section 4. The Ukraine conflict looms. The ongoing war in Ukraine was also discussed. The United States has accused China of providing support to Russia. China has denied these accusations. However, it has refused to condemn Russia's invasion. The U.S. is concerned that China is learning from Russia's actions in Ukraine. It fears that China could use similar tactics against Taiwan. The U.S. is also worried that China's support for Russia could prolong the war in Ukraine. Sullivan likely pressed China to use its influence over Russia to end the war. He may have also warned China against providing any material support to Russia. China, however, is likely to continue to support Russia, albeit cautiously. The Ukraine conflict adds another layer of complexity to the U.S.-China relationship. It also highlights the challenges of managing great power competition in the 21st century. Section 5. Keeping communication channels open. Despite the tensions, both sides agreed on the importance of maintaining open lines of communication. This includes dialogue at all levels, from military to leader to leader. Regular communication can help prevent misunderstandings and miscalculations. It can also help manage crises and prevent them from escalating into conflict. In the current climate, even small incidents could spiral out of control. Sullivan's visit was a step towards rebuilding communication channels that had deteriorated in recent years. It showed that even in times of high tension, both sides see the value in talking to each other. However, communication alone is not enough. Both sides need to be willing to listen to each other's concerns. They also need to be prepared to compromise. Section 6. Seeking common ground. Despite their rivalry, the United States and China share some common interests. These include tackling global challenges such as climate change, pandemics, and nuclear proliferation. Cooperation in these areas is essential for the well-being of both countries and the world. Climate change in particular requires urgent action. Both the United States and China are major emitters of greenhouse gases. They need to work together to reduce emissions and develop clean energy technologies. Sullivan likely raised the issue of climate cooperation during his meeting. He may have also discussed other areas of potential cooperation, such as fighting transnational crime and promoting global health security. Cooperation on global challenges could provide a platform for building trust and improving relations. However, progress will likely be slow and incremental. Section 7. The road ahead. Sullivan's meeting with General Zhang Youxia was a first step in a long and complex process. The U.S.-China relationship is likely to remain competitive for the foreseeable future. However, both sides recognize the need to manage this competition responsibly. The upcoming phone call between President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping will be another important opportunity to stabilize relations. The two leaders are expected to discuss a wide range of issues, including Taiwan, the South China Sea, and Ukraine. The call is unlikely to produce any major breakthroughs. However, it could help to set the tone for the relationship going forward. It could also pave the way for future high-level engagements. The U.S.-China relationship is the most consequential bilateral relationship in the world. How these two superpowers manage their rivalry will have a profound impact on global peace and prosperity.